kind of piggyback off that, since, he mentioned you've done several things. Both of you guys can speak to, when is a time that you feel like you failed? Just in general, like pursuing something maybe personally, creatively, professionally, and something you learn from it, and maybe some of the reasons that led to that failure, and, look back on that. Whoever want to go first. Why did I fail?
Go ahead, Kay. I'm going to be here every week. I can answer this shit next week.
I'll use the time when I literally went to college. Like, I went to college, and believe it or not, I dropped out. I dropped out because I lost my brother, so that kind of just, like, I spiraled. I would say that I felt like I failed him, number one, because he passed away, and I felt like I had to be the one to, like, you make it out the hood, had to be the one to give my family, everything that they don't have. And, like, when he passed away, I dropped out of college. I'm like, it ain't no reason for me to be going anymore. I felt like I was doing that more so for my family and for him, more so than myself. So in those moments, it just was like I let myself down. However, when I turned my pain into passion and writing my books and doing some of the things that I've done, it made me realize, like, okay, maybe you went through this stuff for a reason. Like, you don't have to necessarily look at it as failure, but you can also, like, kind of just change the narrative and be like, you had to go through that to grow, and then you found your purpose in that.
No, facts. So it was something you said in regard to, so do you think that he would have wanted you to finish college? Like, is that why you felt you let him down? Or do you feel like you let him down because you was at college when he passed away?
Yeah, I feel like I let him down because I was at college when he passed away, and when he passed away, I dropped out. Okay,
so what was his temperament like when he was still alive to college? Was it like, go be something great, get us out of here?
Yeah, that's what it was. So when he did pass away, I felt like, damn, like I failed him because I was supposed to do it for them. I was supposed to do it for my family. But when that happened, I dropped out. So
is that a feeling you still carry or no?
No.
All right, cool. It's ironic that I feel like it's so prevalent in the hood mindset. For we always feel like we gotta be the one. Like it's one person out of every group family that think that I gotta be the one to save everybody. And it's like, why is we bearing that burden? You know what I mean? To where though it's even becoming that guilt or that sense of like, I let somebody down. You know what I mean? Like where y'all think that stem from?
Poverty, and it's. And success is like a scarcity. So it's always like, some people people project their insecurities and their failures onto you, whatever. So it's like, if I didn't do anything, if we know each other, whatever, and it's like, damn, I didn't figure it out. So now I want you to be better for yourself also for the reason why we didn't do it. So it kind of can make up for all of that. Then if I pour into you, it kind of makes me feel better as well. It's just this weird cycle of pressure when it's all because many people don't make it out per se, and also many people aren't able to make it out. So I feel it kind of trickles down.
Yeah,
that shit. I think it could probably even go as far as back as slavery, right? That saviors complex, because like, imagine you on a slave plantation, and you and your wife escaped, but everybody else you was just kicking it with still stuck in them same conditions. I feel like for me, it's derived from just understanding what happens in the hood and the urban communities where we from. Like, I don't want to use words like poverty, but it's the truth. But it's like at the same time, it's just like, it's the mindset. And it's like, motherfuckers is here and we going through shit and we facing this shit every day. You don't want to get out, be the one to survive and then leave your peoples for nothing. But what I had to learn to accept was that motherfuckers really don't want to leave the hood. Like, and it's like,
it's
so it's like
in a weird way.
That's crazy.
Motherfuckers don't want to leave. It's like, it's familiar. Like, I got homies like that. That's what they know. It's like they uncomfortable outside of that shit. They like, as much as you think it's dangerous here, I think it's more dangerous not being here because I know all of the back blocks and the this and that. And most importantly, I understand the culture. And when I got out of the streets, I felt like that was an underrated process that I never really realized I had to go through until I started trying to help other people get out the streets. And I'm like, it's really a certain level of acceptance to being able to say, you know what, like, yeah, I've been doing this shit my whole life, but I'm new here, but I got to give this shit the same amount of time, energy, effort to process to become comfortable here too. Because at one point, I ain't know what these things meant in the hood. You feel what I'm saying? And you learn quick. But, once you get outside of that, it's like all of the training you had, but the only thing you really take with you is your instincts. You know what I mean? Everything else would be like the conversation is different. The language is different. What's appropriate is different. What's respected is different. Like in the hood, you smack somebody, he just smacked such and such. Let you do that shit
street
at
cred,
a fucking at a conference or something. Yeah, ain't getting invited to nothing else. So it was like, I swear that shit cooked me because I used to only know how to respond with aggression. So it's like when I started being in other areas where I had to really learn conflict resolution. It was like, I can't just like, you feel me? Like this ain't going nowhere. So it's like, what's the most appropriate way to gain respect here in a way that's not, by way of fear or, just respect by way of reputation?
And the funny thing about that is to not even be so hard on black people come from the hood and shit like that. 'Cause I feel like another thing that people tend to realize once you ascend to certain levels, whatever, is that like disrespect and shady behavior and backbiting ways isn't just a thing that's in the hood. Of course, the consequence might be deeper because niggas be dying, whatever. But like, no, like white people and people with money, they do the same type of shit to fuck you over, but they're gonna do it with a smiling face while shaking your hand.
100%.
And then they be looking at you when you crazy. If you want to do something like crazy
Beyond
in
that,
response to that, they be like, what? Like, this is just business.
I outsmarted you.
Yeah. And it just, spoils the war type shit, whatever. Where like, no, niggas die for that.
But
like,
it's crazy because that's what I mean. So that's the exact example. Is like conflict in the hood gets resolved with violence. It's very seldom that it's a convo because it's like the whole no talking mindset and nothing to talk about. Like, you know what you did and you know what come with that. But when you get in that type of predicament, it's like, oh, wait, why are you so upset? Nigga, you just got over on me.
And they go even, it's a tricky
But I had to
thing,
learn that, you just got to learn to, like, one of my greatest, best examples, I'm going to say greatest, but one of my favorite examples to use is when I watched the 2008 Olympics with Kobe and all of them. And they was talking about how when they first went over wherever they was playing at, they was getting cooked because the rules was different. You can knock the ball off the rim, and in the States, that's goaltending. It was certain different rules that was allowed, that wasn't allowed here, that was allowed there. And when they first went, I think in 2004, they lost because they didn't understand how to adapt to those rules. But in 2008, they came back with the mindset, like, we the redeemed team. We're going to understand how they play, and we're going to win in their rules. So every time I get in a position where I'm leaning towards what's familiar, I remind myself that I have to learn how to win playing their rules, whatever the rules is to the game that I'm playing. Like, basketball rules and football rules is different. I can tackle you in football. If I tackle you in basketball, you're just a flagrant. You might get ejected. Whatever.
Green ass nigga. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, even in football, you can't dunk on a goalpost. That's like excessive celebration. But if you dunk on a court in basketball, it's like it's praise. So it's just about really understanding your environment and what's accepted. But I don't know. I think we just kind of like, I pivoted that way because you said you kind of felt like you let them down. I'm like, yo, we all be feeling like we gotta save our